Hello, guys. Look, wait a second because I wanted to fix this really quick. Okay, guys. Hello, welcome back to a new live streaming dedicated on Shin Evangelion. This last movie of Evangelion that came out finally the 8th of March. Sorry, I'm a little bit late because as I told you in the community, this movie came out during an emergency state, and that means that we had some difficulties in order to go and watch it. In fact, I had to wait the weekend because there was not a late show, and that's why I couldn't go and watch it on Monday, March the 8th, when it was released. Anyway, look, I wanted to say my initial opinions because, as you all know, I mean, probably all the fans of Evangelion know that when you watch Evangelion, you have to watch it multiple times. So, of course, I think I will go and watch it another time, or probably two other times, in order to get all this complex story and to understand everything as it is. But firstly, I wanted to say that if you don't want the spoilers, as I wrote even in the description, don't follow this video, don't follow this live streaming, because I'm about to analyze what I watched, and I am about to describe what I watched. So, of course, if I can give you a suggestion, it's better if you wait, and you will be able to watch this movie too. And then, of course, you can come back and check this long video, I guess, a quite long video that I'm about to make. So you will not be used to spoilers, you will not know the end, you don't know anything about that. And why I make this video right now is because I still have some clear memories about what I watched, and if I'm going to make this video some months after, probably I will not remember the same things. So some details are still really vivid in my mind, and I really remember many good things I watched. So for me, it's better to make this video now. That's why I tell you, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If you don't want to hear spoilers, don't watch it. You will be able to find it on the channel anyway. So feel free to wait if you need or if you want. Okay, let me start by saying that this was a great movie. And another thing I want to tell you is that I watched it on IMAX. I mean, I went to the cinema, and I decided to watch it with the IMAX option. That I think you should follow this suggestion too. I mean, if you go to the cinema and if you will have the chance to watch it at the cinema, I definitely suggest you to watch it IMAX, because that's totally different, and it's definitely something crazy. I'm going to talk to you about the animations too, and all the people who collaborated somehow to this movie. Great studios were involved in this movie. And hello, Andrew. Now, you shouldn't be jealous, because it's just about time. So as I said at the beginning, I'm just making this video because now I remember stuff that probably after some months I will not remember so clearly. But don't worry, it's just about time for sure. Okay, I was saying that I watched it IMAX, and yeah, the animation, stunning. Even the first 10 minutes that you have probably seen online, they are definitely different. I mean, if you watch it IMAX and you don't watch it from your computer screen, that's totally different. Absolutely. But okay, when I reached the cinema and I had to reach my room, I received a card that you have probably seen on the internet, and I'm going to show it to you later because this card has Asuka on one side, and on the back side it's written, don't open it until the movie is finished. I mean, until you have watched this movie. So of course, I'm going to show you one side of this card. Probably I will not open the card because I don't know. Let's see at the end of this review. If it's too long, I'm going to do a second live streaming in which I will tell you all the details that I collected watching it the second time. Because, as I told you, usually when you watch Evangelion, at the beginning you don't remember many things, or you are confused, you don't understand many things. So probably after I will watch it the second time, I will make another live streaming in which I confirm what I saw. If what I told you right now is correct, I will confirm it. Or probably I will tell you, look, what I said, it was totally wrong because I got it. I mean, now I understood it. But anyway, okay. Ooh, this movie starts with the 12th, the 12 minutes you saw online, and let me tell you honestly, I think the animation in these first 10 minutes, when there is a villain that is attacking Nerve, is stunning. I mean, the animation is super amazing, and if you watch it IMAX, it seems that you are part of it. So it's not a 4D. I mean, IMAX, it means that the screen is really big. So it's like as if your eyes can't uh, detect everything because the screen is so big and you have to pay attention on everything, and it seems that you are part of this movie. But yeah, at the beginning you see these 10 minutes that in which you see that Mari is trying to attack Nerve somehow, thanks to all of these beautiful animation, and we see even Rizko. I mean, you know that scene, you watched it already. If you are a fan of Evangelion and you wanted some initial spoilers, look, I want to tell you, this first scene was not uh, changed. I mean, what you saw in those 12 minutes uploaded online recently, it's what you're about to see at the cinema. So you will not see a different scene, or you will not see something different than usual. Um, but yeah, the fact that we are in Paris and how Mari is using the Eiffel Tower to try to destroy Nerve somehow. And when she says, "Excusez-moi," to Eiffel, that's so amazing. I really loved that moment. Wow. I definitely, if I close my eyes, I can really remember all the details and all the things during that battle, that initial battle. And yeah, as you can see, the everything surrounding Paris is red, because this is what happened with the third impact, and not the fourth, the third. Because at the beginning, when I watched the end of the third movie, I thought, okay, this is the this is what happened after the fourth impact. But no, that was wrong. In fact, my thoughts were wrong, and it was after the third impact. And sorry if you hear the airplane, is because it's passing on top of my house here. Um, but anyway, yeah, you see on the poster, you see that everything is so white, everything is so clear, and the reason why is that you need to reach the end in order to understand that, and it was really awesome. to understand the development of this story throughout minutes after minutes. Look, this movie is lasting 2 hours and 35 minutes, and it's quite long. But let me tell you honestly, I didn't feel that I was bored, or that I said, okay, come on, when it's about to finish this movie. No, not at all. It was nice. And I didn't feel the fact that, oh my God, these 2 hours and 35 minutes, they are so long. No, not at all. And I'm so happy about it because I think they made a great job. Okay, after the scenes that you have seen that I'm about to skip because you have seen it already, and I think the animation was stunning. I already said it. Okay, then there are these three characters: Shinji, the fake Ayanami that is not Ayanami, of course, but I'm going to call it a fake Ayanami because you will understand what I mean. Also, because she doesn't have a name, so I can't give her another name for this. And then there is Asuka. Look, they are walking, and you saw it in those 12 minutes anticipation, so you know what I mean. And you see that they are walking, and everything around them is red, pitch red, because of this impact. I'm talking about the third impact and not the fourth. That means what happened with Kaoru. But lately, you see that Asuka and the fake Ray, let's say, they are walking, and they don't have any sort of a facial expression because they just walk. But behind them, you see that Shinji is walking as if he's a zombie right now. I mean, he's walking just because he has to, not because he really wants. Otherwise, I think he would prefer to be dead at this point of the story. And you will clearly understand this throughout the scenes coming after, because you really see how Shinji feels guilty, and you really feel how Shinji feels useless because Kaoru had to sacrifice himself in order to avoid the fourth impact. So, as always, we see Shinji as a character that is. Um, that he feels as if he's a completely loser, and he doesn't deserve to be alive, in his opinion. And you will see that scene is amazing because you see the difference between the fake Ayanami Asuka on one side and Shinji that is walking behind them and is just following them because he's like a machine right now. He's just moving because he has to move, not because he really wants to go somewhere, because in his opinion it would have been good to be dead, let's say. But then this scene that is interrupting in your case because the online version stops exactly over there. Then you see that they are stopping in front of a vending machine somehow, and they want to drink something. But I mean, you see that all of them want to drink something except for Shinji, who doesn't care. And you see that Asuka is stopping in front of this vending machine, and suddenly a car appears. And you say, oh no, who this person is. Look, guys, big spoiler, please don't watch this video. I want to remark this if you don't want to follow it. But anyway, a car is stopping, and you see that. Do you remember the friend of Shinji who was attending the school with him? I mean, the high school with him. That one with black hair, let's say, because there are two friends. One, he has a light brown hair, and I don't remember his name. Sorry for that. And one has the darker hair. Okay, the darker hair friend. Let's go it like this. He became a doctor, and now he grew up. You see, wow, you see that he's grown up so much, and he has a family. He's a father, and he has his wife plus his young, I think it's a daughter, yeah. And the only thing you see is that when he's coming out from the car, he says, "Oh, Ikari Shinji, isashiburi desu. I mean, long time no see." And then the scene is going to stop over there suddenly, and you see Shinji waking up uh, after some hours, I guess, yeah. And of course, he doesn't want it to be alive because, as I told you, Shinji feels guilty. So there is no reason why he wants to breathe. But this friend is so popular in this village. You will see that there is a sort of a new village rebuilt after what happened, and in this village there is a specific company that is working over there, and it started over there. I don't remember what the name of the company is, but it starts with K, Contact, Compact, or sorry, I don't remember right now. When I will rewatch the movie, I will tell you definitely. But yeah, there is this company who of course is handled by people, and this company helped building with some red cylinders or something like that, mm, a sort of a barrier to avoid this impact to uh, come next to them. In fact, there is this red part on one side, and then there are these sort of barriers, and then there is the world with normal colors. I mean, it's not red, it's usual colors as we all see. For example, the house is not red, but the house is white or brown, etc., etc. So they are creating this sort of a separation to avoid that this impact is going to affect the villagers and all the others. But yeah, this friend of Shinji grew up, and now, as I told you, he's so popular as a doctor. In fact, he is estimated by everybody. In fact, in one scene, you see that he's acclaimed as if he's a great doctor for everybody. And so I was really happy to see the evolution of this character too, because usually the second characters in many anime are okay. He was a second character, so but in this case, no. We see how this friend helped. Sorry, I have to close the door because now there is an announcement. Wait a second. Sorry, sometimes it happens here in Japan. You find the some announcements, dun 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 dun. So it was quite disturbing. Okay, it was annoying me. Yeah, what was I saying? Okay, Shinji is waking up and he's realizing that now his friend became a doctor and he's quite popular. But then there is a great scene in which this Shinji's friend, you know what I mean, he is taking him, and even fake Ayanami Rei and Asuka, to his house, because especially the fake no, just the fake Ayanami and Shinji, they are brought over there. And wow, this scene was amazing because you see Shinji that he's staying on uh, in the corner of this room of the house, because as I told you, he's so detached and he doesn't want to have any sort of relationship with other people because he feels guilty. So, and then you see one great thing, because they are trying to ask Shinji, please, do you want to eat something? I mean, they are kind with him. No matter if he doesn't reply, he doesn't want to say anything, he doesn't want to thank them, he doesn't want to be alive, okay? On the other side, we see the fake Ayanami that is trying throughout this movie, throughout the part in which she's still alive, and later, I'm going to explain why I say this, but she's starting asking the people she has in front of her, in this case, this Shinji's friend, wife, plus other people who are surrounding her, she's asking questions For example, she is asking, "Itadakimasu, what does it mean?" Or "Oyasumi nasai," that means good night. What does it mean? Good morning. What does it mean? Sayonara. What does it mean? All these questions that help her to understand the meanings of these sentences, even if she doesn't understand for real the meaning, but she's trying to learn new things. And suddenly she's seeing the baby this Shinji's friend has, because he grew up and he made this family. And suddenly there is a moment in which this fake Ayanami, I call her fake Ayanami, I already explained you why, she is coming next to this newborn baby, and she's asking the mother, "Oh, what is that?" I mean, she doesn't know what a baby is. And later, the wife is explaining to her what a baby is, and she's staring at this baby, and she's even touching the baby because she wants to sense what the baby is. And she's saying, she says, that's kawaii, that's so cute. And she's starting looking at this baby in a certain way, as if she feels a sort of a connection. And in my opinion, this is because we all know that these clones are based on Yui, that is Shinji's mom. And I can see as if Yui is over there looking at Shinji somehow, or there is this sort of a connection, a motherly connection between the fake Ayanami with this baby, as if she has implanted this motherly feeling, okay? But that was really cute. I really loved that moment, yeah. Then they are walking suddenly in another scene, and there is a cat, and she's asking the villagers, "Oh, look, is that a dog?" No, it's not a dog. It's a little bit different. And the villagers say, "No, no, that's a cat," and she likes cats. In fact, throughout this part in which we see how the fake Ayanami is. Trying to start relationships and tries to get involved with these people more and more and more. Most of the times she's seeing a cat. I think it's a mother cat with these um, little cats, carrying these little cats or taking care of these little cats. And it's always reconnecting to the mother and son relationship, or the mother that has to take care of the kid. And Ayanami, fake Ayanami, is looking at these scenes so beautifully, and she really likes that sort of connection. Um, at the same time, on the other side, we see that Asuka, she is staying somehow. She, oh look, okay, there are some scenes that, okay, I will tell you later, but Asuka, she is staying with the other friend of Shinji, the light brown hair, who really changed at that point. And we really know that there was a great connection between him and Asuka somehow, because he's always talking to her, and no matter what she's saying in that sort of a rude way, as always, she's trying to answering in bad ways, as if she wants to protect herself from others. This is typical of other anime characters, as we all know. But yeah, Asuka is trying to convince Shinji somehow, even if it's in a rude way, or it's in a way that she wants to push Shinji by saying bad things, etc., etc. She really wants to let Shinji understand that he has to move on, and he doesn't have to behave the same way as always, because as we all know, Shinji always feels guilty, always thinks that he can't do anything, and he feels useless, meaningless. His life is meaningless. Blah 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 blah. Okay, we know, but Asuka can't stand this behavior he has. So most of the times we see that she's provoking him so much, and at a certain point, I think she's saying something like you were not a good choice for the Eva 01 or something like that. I mean, you were not entitled um, to use the Eva 01. I mean, she said something bad um, to let Shinji open his eyes and shake him a little bit, because all the times um, she's in front of a person who doesn't understand that other people suffered too, that he's not the only one. And we are going to see this theme throughout the movie and even later, with other strange scenes in which you see that he's talking to other characters, etc., etc. He doesn't understand that people suffer, and he's not the only one to suffer right now. And other people suffered throughout these years, and he can't play the role of the victim all the times. Okay, that's what Asuka is trying to do by pushing him all the times. But there are some scenes in which, no, there is one scene in particular in which Asuka, she's naked, and Shinji is opening the door and he's seeing her naked, and naked except for this electronic collar that she has over here. And every time Shinji is looking at this collar, he's about to throw up, because he remembers Kaoru, and for him is so painful to believe that Kaoru is not there, that he couldn't save Kaoru, that he did something so bad that he couldn't save him. He feels useless and stuff like that, but he's throwing up all the times, as much as he's seeing this color around her neck. This is, of course, related to the third movie, okay? But then, yeah, Shinji suddenly woke up after Asuka. She is trying her best in the rudest way, let's say, but she's trying. It's her way to shake people. And he's replying somehow, and he's going out. And he doesn't want to come back in that sort of a house in which Asuka and his friend of Shinji are living for the moment until a new mission is starting. And Shinji is reaching a place. Let's say that it's a sort of abandoned building or destroyed building, and it's all white around him. There is a river in front of him. I mean, around him it's all white, but in front of him there's a sort of a river, and on the other side you see the penguins. Do you remember the penguin who was living in Misato's house at the beginning? Yeah, you saw him surrounded by other penguins. That was hilarious. Okay. And Shinji is staying over there next to the river, surrounded by destroyed buildings, and he's staying over there. He doesn't want to meet anyone. He doesn't want to see anyone, because he doesn't deserve to live, in his opinion, and that's why he prefers to be alone. And he doesn't even want to ask for help. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want anything. He just wants to be left in peace, and he doesn't want to talk to any of them. But at the same time, while Shinji is spending his time over there, Asuka is behind the corner of that destroyed building, checking what Shinji is doing and if Shinji is okay. So that makes you understand that Asuka cares about Shinji no matter what she says, and she was rude on purpose, not because she really wanted to affect Shinji's feelings, but she wanted to help him to wake up and move on, no matter how painful it is. Um, and then the days are passing. Asuka is always playing video games in that sort of home she's living with Shinji's friend. And on the other side, Ayanami Rei, fake Ayanami, she's going on by being surrounded by people, by getting in touch with the new meanings, because she's always asking, what's that? Um, how do you say? What do you say to people when you are thankful and another person says arigato? So she's learning new ways of speaking, and she really gets in touch with the surrounding world she is in front of. But and I remember clearly one scene in which she's entering inside of a sort of train, but this train was turned into a sort of a restaurant or a sort of shop in which you can read books. And once she's seeing those books, she's saying, I remember when Shinji brought me lots of books to read. And she's seeing how people are happy to read books and how many people go over there to read books. So this was really nice as a scene too. Yeah, you see, look, let me tell you honestly, even if the fake array is something artificial and it's a clone and she can't deliver her feelings so easily because she doesn't feel anything. I mean, she doesn't know how to feel, okay? But sometimes she has these motherly instincts, this will to get in touch with the new things, this will to understand things that, wow, it makes me feel as if she's more human than we all think. And I really appreciated that. Or when she's going to the rice fields and she's trying to help the villagers to plant rice plants and to be helpful to others. These villagers are saying that they are working um, in these rice fields, etc., etc. Every day they go over there, they plant rice and stuff like that. And the fake Ayanami doesn't know what shigoto, what work is, what a job is. And she's asking, what's a job? And these villagers are explaining her what this job is, even if suddenly she doesn't understand the meaning, but later she's getting used to it. And she is using these words more and more and more. And look, throughout this period, she's learning to convey feelings, to express herself as if she's a human being. She's visiting Shinji too, because before she's reaching Shinji, she is meeting Asuka in that house. So she's living not permanently, but temporarily. And she Asuka is no the fake Ayanami. She is asking Asuka where Shinji is and why did he leave. She says she's not good for this. I mean, she's saying the usual things so she usually says, but Asuka gives her the recorder of Shinji, and the fake Ayanami, she's about to give it to him. So lately, I mean, at the scene after, you see this fake Ayanami reaching Shinji that is still in the same place. So he doesn't move. He's always there. And it's like as if he lost his mind, okay, and his feelings too. But the fake Ayanami tries to give this recorder to Shinji, and she says, "Look, you forgot this." And wow, Shinji doesn't want it anymore, and he's trashing it all away from him. He's trying to pull it away, and Ayanami brings. I mean, she's bringing back this recorder, but she prefers to give him some food before leaving. So she's leaving these sort of crackers or something like that next to him before leaving. And she doesn't say anything else. So the fact that there is this great silence, that was really nice. But then, once she's going away, Shinji is eating. That means I understand that scene, and I really liked that scene because while he's eating, he's crying a lot, and I understand that Shinji really wants to die for what he did or for the fact that he feels how he feels, but at the same time he really wants to survive too. And I think he's crying not because he's sad, but he's crying because he's desperate, and he's crying because he really thinks that he still doesn't deserve to survive no matter what. But that's an instinct, and he really wants to eat because if he's not eating, he's about to die for real. And one thing is to say it, one thing is to really feel it, I think. So yeah, Shinji wants to die because he feels guilty, but at the same time, I think he doesn't really want to die. Otherwise, he didn't want to eat. But the fact that he's crying, he's saying to himself, look at how stupid you are. Even if you chose not to eat, not to see anybody, etc., etc., now you wanted to survive, so you are not able to make a decision. In fact, throughout this movie, you will see that that's the main problem of Shinji. He really doesn't want to make a choice. I mean, he is always afraid to make a choice or take a decision for real. He's always saying, yeah, I don't want, and then he's doing it somehow. So the fact that he's so insecure, but that's part of his past, of course. Yeah, I really like that scene in which he's crying, but he's eating so fast that cracker and he's crying so much. That was so deep. I really loved that scene. Sorry, I'm trying to remember most of the things I saw, and till now I think I remembered all of them. If I skip some scenes, sorry, it's because yeah, I have a longer term memory, but that doesn't mean that I remember specifically everything in details. But that's why I'm going to watch it one more time. Then another thing is that the fake Ayanami is coming back one more time to Shinji to give him food one more time. I mean, to give him these crackers, and she's positioning these crackers next to him always while he's facing this sort of river or something like that. And suddenly, Shinji is saying, I don't want to see any of you. I don't understand why you are so kind to me. Everybody is so kind to me. That means I don't deserve this, in his opinion. But the fake Ayanami, I call her like this, is so sorry. Because, yes, during some scenes, the villagers are asking her, what's your name? And she says, what does it mean, name? Because she's never heard before something like this. And the villagers are trying to let her understand what name is. And she's saying, look, I will think about it. I will think because I don't have a name. I don't know what that is. And later she's talking about it with Shinji. In fact, now I'm reconducting myself with this scene I'm talking to you about. And yeah, Shinji's saying, why are you all so kind with me? That means I don't deserve this. And Ayanami, the fake Ayanami, she's saying, because everybody loves you. And in that moment, Shinji is opening his eyes like this and he's realizing what's going on. Plus, she's saying something else. I mean, she is asking Shinji if he can give her a name, or if he can help her to have a name, because she doesn't know. And the one thing he's saying is that, look, you are not Ayanami Rei. He's saying to her, that's true, because in his mind, the real Ayana Mirei, it's over. I mean, it's finished already. So she can't be named as Ayana Mirei. But okay, he will think about it. I mean, let's think about a way to find a name for her. But at the beginning, he said, I don't know what your name could be. I don't know. But then the fake Ayanami said, okay, I understand this, but let's find a name. Everything you will choose, to me, it's fine. Okay, it's fine for me. But then the scene stopped over there. In the meantime, Shinji finally comes back to that house where Asuka and the other friend of his are living temporarily. I mean, I'm talking about Asuka, of course. And look, he's saying sorry to Asuka, that he feels useless. I mean, the usual stuff we all know, okay? But then he's starting to get in touch with the villagers too. I mean, he's going out with this friend of his. And sorry, I don't remember that name too. I'm so sorry, but he is the light brown hair friend of Shinji that he spent his time with him in high school. Okay. And they are going fishing, for example. And that's another important scene because throughout this scene, you see that the friend is telling him how to use the fishing rod. And he's saying, look, you can try, okay, at least. But Shinji says, I've never done this before, so I don't think I will be able to do it. See, the insecurity Shinji has is something crazy because he repeatedly says that even if he has never experienced it, he is already aware of the fact that he can do it. How do you know? I mean, at least try. But Shinji has this type of personality that is so insecure, and he really feels as if he can't do anything, rather than being the pilot of Evangelion. But his life was determined as the pilot of Evangelion, so all the rest, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to choose. He doesn't want to make a choice. He's so fragile. And yeah, that was so sad to watch when he said, look, I've never tried this, so I don't think I will be able to do this, to use a fishing rod. Okay, he was not asked to use something crazy, but a fishing rod. Then another thing I really liked as a scene is when he's reaching a sort of a playground. I mean, he's reaching a field, and that's a great landscape you see in that scene. And he's smelling the smell, sorry, of this repetition of the word, but he's smelling this, he's feeling the smell of a soil. And this reminded him of a kaji. So somehow he says that he can feel the presence of a kaji surrounding him. That was really nice as a scene too. Oh, I really loved that scene so much. Yeah. Why I say this, a huge spoiler, so don't watch it if you don't want spoilers. I want to remark this one more time. One day, this friend of Shinji is taking him to a farm, let's say, because there is this company. I don't remember now the name, but it starts with K. Sorry for that. Compact. Connect. I don't know, something with a K. Okay, I will tell you in the next live streaming when I will watch it. And he's taking him over there because he wants to show him something. And he's showing him the fact that they are building this sort of a barrier with these red cylinders implanted in on the ground, as if they are helping this, avoiding the fact that over this barrier there is this red setting. I mean, the perfect setting after an impact. And guys, he's meeting one boy. Here, there is a tag, and on this tag is written Kaji R. Look, when I saw this at the cinema, I was like, suddenly I thought, okay, that's Kaji. And I missed the Kaji because the last time I saw him, it was in another movie, right? But I said, oh, Kaji. Then he is reaching, Shinji is reaching this boy thanks to his friend, and they are talking a little bit. And he is saying, look, I'm Kaji Ryo. And then when they depart themselves, okay, first they take a picture, and later you will understand more about this picture. But when they depart, I mean, when they separate and they say, okay, bye-bye, etc., etc., while they are coming back to the car they parked, this friend of Shinji told, spoiler, okay, don't watch it, this friend of Shinji said, look, that's Misato and Kaji's baby boy. I mean, he's their son. I was like, what the okay, I was like, okay, because he has the same face of Kaji and he has the hair of Misato. So I should have thought about this when I looked at him the first time, but I said, okay. Okay, so Misato and the Kaji had a son, and the name is Kaji Ryo. And we discover also that later, I don't remember if this friend is saying it to Shinji or not, but later for sure when Misato is talking to Ritsuko, we see that she's saying that Kaji died. Kaji died when he was trying to investigate or to bring that project of from Zele away, and he died. So Misato is the only mother taking care of this kid, but there is a sort of a relationship that is strange between this son and Misato, because Misato is not that type of a woman, let's say, that she takes care a lot of her son. As if, look, in my opinion, she just really wanted to detach herself from that baby boy, I mean, from Kaji Ryo, from her son, because he resembles Kaji so much. And I think maybe Misato wanted to push him away, because otherwise she's remembering Kaji, because he has the same face as Kaji. So I think all the times Misato was about to check him or to look at him, she was seeing Kaji, her lover, let's say. So, but then she is explaining to Ritsuko, yeah, that she doesn't feel as if she's a great mom, because she's not deeply attached to this son she has. But anyway, yeah, after this scene, I remember the picture I told you, okay, because later is a little bit important. But then in another scene, we see that Ayanami, the fake Ayanami, she's checking here, around here, because here it's written that she has to start the maintenance. I mean, she's like a sort of robot, I mean, a machine, okay? So she has to be, to have a maintenance going on. But this maintenance is not possible because she's going to be killed. I mean, she's going to be destroyed really soon because she's an old model. And in fact, we see as a parenthesis later that Fuyutsuki is talking to Gendo after what happens to the fake Ayanami that I'm going to explain you really soon. And he's saying, look, that was an old model, and we have to find a way to replace her with another one. So that's why she had this here under her hand. This is sort of a message that the maintenance, blah, 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 etc., etc. So she started saying this message here while she was trying to cuddle the baby boy of the wife of Shinji's friend, the doctor, if you know what I mean. So she has a deep contact with this newborn baby, even if she doesn't have a motherly instinct, but she feels that she wants to stay with that baby. Look, as if Yui's mind is connecting with this sort of artificial machine. That was really nice to see, because she's always next to that newborn baby throughout the movie. I mean, throughout her presence in the movie. So wow, that was really awkward, but at the same time so understandable, because as we know, Rei is a clone of Yui somehow. So I could understand as if this clone was having inside herself a part of Yui, okay? And that was really awesome. But okay, she's having this message here. So she knows that really, really soon she will be automatically destroyed. And the next day, she's writing a piece of paper. And when the wife of this friend of Shinji, the doctor, opens the door and she's finding the newborn baby lying on the ground and he's sleeping so well, there is this piece of paper on top of the futon. And it's written all the words Ayanami Rei, fake Ayanami, learned throughout these days that she spent with the villagers and with her, etc., etc. She wrote Oyasumi, that means good night. Ohayo, good morning. And then Sayonara, that means farewell. And arigato, thank you. So something is going on here. Something is wrong. And in fact, the fake Ayanami is going to Shinji one more time, because now they are meeting sometimes in the same place. I mean, even if Shinji now revived, okay, and he's not there anymore, staying in front of that sort of river and think only. No, he is, as I told you, he's trying to be surrounded by others, and he's trying to get in touch with others. But in that specific scene, he's meeting the fake Ayanami over there in the same place where he stayed for so many days. And the fake Ayanami is giving him the recorder one more time. She's trying her best, and this time Shinji accepted it, and he's saying thank you. And then he said, look, I didn't come up with that name, okay, because as I told you, they are trying to give this fake Ayanami a name because she doesn't have one. And she said, it's not a problem. And then she's turning her back. I mean, Shinji's in front of her, and she's stepping back more and more and more. And she's thanking Shinji for everything he did to her. She is about to automatically be destroyed. And one more time, no, sorry, before saying this, I remember another scene right now where the fake Ayanami, the villagers are saying to her, look, you wear always these black, I mean, you have such a strange dress code because she has this uniform, right? And they are saying, look, you can change your clothes. We're about to give you this. And oh, look, that uniform is the same uniform Ayanami Rei used. That scene was something crazy too. When she, do you remember that in the trailer you see that red ribbon, let's say, doing like this? That's when the villagers are giving her that same uniform as Ayana Mirei. I was like, oh my. And yeah, now let's go back to the moment in which she's automatically going to be destroyed. And Shinji's seeing one more time Ayana Mirei instead of her. That moment was so painful because then she's saying sayonara and she's exploding. That moment, Shinji was traumatized because once again, she's seeing someone that resembled Ayana Mirei dying, being destroyed, let's say. And that was really, in fact, he is crying, and that scene was okay. So to tell you this, by telling you this, you will not see, from that moment, you will not see the fake Ayanami anymore, or yeah, you will see some references dedicated to Ayanami Rei, but you lose the first character already in that moment. Wow, then Shinji goes back to be, because right now Ritsuko and all the others with that sort of a spaceship, let's say, they are coming back because they were in Paris, right? And Asuka is checking the fact that Ritsuko and the others are coming back, and he's coming behind her by saying, "Look, I want to come too." That means finally, and that moment I said, "Whoa!" Shinji decided the one thing, right? But suddenly he was stopped by Asuka with, I don't know if it was because of an electroshock or something, but suddenly the scene stopped over there, and we see the scene when they are already inside of that sort of um, wheel. I don't want to say spaceship, but you understand what I mean. And there is the sister of the friend of Shinji, that she's complaining or she's screaming, why are you coming back here, la 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 la, you shouldn't be here, etc., etc., etc. But Asuka, um, she is saying, no, look, he wanted to come. Okay, she really wanted this moment. I mean, she really wanted the moment in which Shinji finally decided to come back over there too, and be ready in order to start this new mission. But in that moment, Asuka, once they finish talking to Shinji, she's giving to this sister of this Shinji's friend a picture of her brother with with his family. I mean, with his baby boy too. That's so cute, etc., etc. In fact, also his sister says, "Oh, yeah, they are so she or he," because right now I don't understand if it's a boy or a girl, that newborn baby. But I say, "Oh, kawaii." Yeah, that was really kawaii as a newborn baby. I really like I really like babies. But anyway, um, and then there is this part. Remember this gesture, guys? Suddenly, Mari is doing like this to Shinji, and she's asking, "Who am I?" and stuff like that. Remember this scene because it would be important at the end of the movie too. And he says, "I don't know, sincerely." And then she's introducing herself to Shinji formally, but she's not alone because Asuka is behind her. And Asuka suddenly said, "Look, I really liked you, Shinji." She's quite honest. I really like Asuka because she's really honest. No matter if it's a good thing or a bad thing, most of the times she's having a rude attitude on purpose, but absolutely. I think she was really honest in that moment. But anyway, and she is saying, "I really liked you somehow, but now I changed. I mean, I have become more mature and I've grew um, faster than you. That means even if the pilots of the Evangelion are not growing for real, I mean, they are not growing up. In fact, Shinji is always the same, no matter 14 years past. Asuka the same, Mari the same. But she said that, look, I've moved on and I did it faster than you. That means I liked you in the past, but now it's over. And sincerely, then there is a parenthesis in which you see that Mari, she really is too involved with Asuka. Somehow she's always calling her Ohime, and she's trying to stay next to her most of the times. So Mari really likes to stay next to Asuka somehow. But yeah, I really liked the moment in which Asuka was so sincere, was so honest, and she said, "Look, I liked you, but now it's over. I moved on, and I grew up faster than you." Of course, when she says I grew up, and not physically speaking, but here, right, mentally. And I don't remember, yeah, maybe it's happening as soon as they go away. I mean, as soon as Asuka and Mari go away, or later, but suddenly Shinji is sitting on this sort of bed that is like a prison, like a jail, okay, inside of this aircraft or spacecraft. I don't know how to call it sincerely, but okay, you understood me. The ville aircraft, yeah. And he is sitting, and suddenly he remembers of Kaoru, because one more time he saw this color Asuka has around her neck, and he was trying to throw up one more time. And he remembers Kaoru sitting next to him and saying, "Don't worry, we are going to meet again." And Shinji was talking to himself only. I mean, there is the scene in which you see that Kaoru is next to him, but at the same time, you see the scene in which Shinji is alone on that bed talking. That was really sad. And he said, "Yes, Kaoru, we will meet again." Wow, that was so intense. Let me tell you, I like these emotional things. Look, after yesterday, I cried so much for Shingeki no Kyojin, but yeah, I really like those scenes in which these memories are collected and you can go on with the story somehow because you understand the things the character is feeling. I really like this. But then there is this attack. I mean, now they wanted to go deep inside where, do you remember in movie number 3 where Kaoru and Shinji fell down to reach Lilith, and they used then the Yari, and then of course Kaoru was sacrificed, and then he said, "Me, Shinji, we will meet one more time once again." Okay, now Ville is going over there. Asuka and Mari are handling their Evangelion 02 remade, let's say, and 09, 09, I guess, yeah, for Mari, the pink one. And they are starting this battle because at the same time Fuyutsuki is telling Gendo, "Let's start this." I mean, they wanted to start this additional impact, and but in order to do that, yeah, they have to go deep down to reach the Evangelion 13 that is still over there, because there is the Yari crossing this Evangelion 13, so they have to reach that place too. So there is this animated scene, guys, of this battle between Ville and Nerve in order to reach the Evangelion 13. That is something crazy. I mean, something amazing. Look, the animations here, I was speechless. I mean, that was really awesome. I think that's why I think it's better if you go to watch it at the cinema and choose IMAX, please, because there's a totally different experience. You really have the possibility to hear all the sounds as best as you can, and you can watch the screen that is so big that your eyes can even move how much this screen is big. So I really suggest you to go to the cinema and to watch it IMAX. And then, of course, if you like the 4D experience, that's great too. But as a first experience, I think IMAX is the best solution. Then, look, they reach, okay, I'm making it shorter because I can't explain you that animated scene, and that's so stunning. So it's better if you check it by yourself. Also, because there is nothing to say. I mean, they are fighting one against the other one. Mari is trying to defeat all of these ships that are appearing throughout this animation, and then there are other Evangelion coming, trying to make. Trying to defeat Mari and Asuka working together. So, yeah, there is a special animated scene while they are falling down because they have to reach the Eva 13. And then Asuka reached it. I mean, she reached. In the meantime, Mari is defeating all the enemies on top of her, but she's reaching Eva 13. But there is a problem that it has the AT field, and she can't touch the Eva 13 because it's separated by this AT field. And she was really disappointed because she said, I mean, she thought, okay, we reached the till now, we made it somehow, while Mari is helping her by defeating all the enemies plus Misato and all the others. But anyway, she reached over there, and oh, I can't even do anything because they try to get the Eva 13, right? And look, she is, I mean, she has this eye band here, okay? That eye band is hiding her eye. And that accident happened in movie number 2 when Asuka was somehow defeated, and Shinji felt guilty over there too because he couldn't save Asuka, etc. As a Ouroboros, I mean, over and over again. But suddenly she is screaming, "Oh yeah," something like, "Oh, you don't know. Who do you have in front of you?" etc. etc. She's opening this IBAN, and you see that she has inside one of those tiny. Do you remember the red cylinders that I talked to you about at the beginning of this movie? That these cylinders are trying to create a sort of barrier in order to avoid the impact affecting the villagers and the village and the rest of the part of Japan that is white. I mean, it's normal color instead of red. But she has this sort of tiny red thing, and she, as if she has a sort of a Shito power, this angel power over stuck over there because she was attacked in movie number 2. And oh wow, she's taking it out and she's screaming a lot and she's releasing this power that she can defeat this AT field. Wow. I mean, I was surprised a lot, but in that moment, guys, I thought Asuka is about to die now because I can't explain with words that scene. That was something. And in fact, Mari was screaming, Asuka! Usually she's saying, Hime, right? Or Hime. She's calling her a princess. But in that case, she's screaming, Asuka! And then there is this, oh, look. I was about to cry in that moment because I thought, okay, Asuka is about to die here. But then later you see another scene in which she is confronting her own self. It's like she is bluish or something like that. I mean, she's having her own colors, but in front of her there is this presence, a bad or evil presence that is bluish, and she's trying to take her away as if she is dying, okay, because of that sacrifice. And Asuka is repeating, "You don't know who you are talking to," or something like that. That means I'm more powerful than you. That means her own self that is trying to take her away and to let her die. But yeah, later I discovered later, because I'm going to explain you that Asuka is not dead, for what I know, that she was spiritually still over there. So, oh, I'm so glad, because yeah, that you have to see that scene, because that was crazy. That was so beautiful. Wow. In that moment when Asuka is having this big fight, trying to develop this 80 field and trying to get in touch with the Eva 13, you see that the jail, let's call it jail, the room of Shinji opens, and this purple fluid or something in the air is reaching Shinji somehow. And Shinji opens his eyes and decides to stand up. That means I'm going out right now, and I'm going to reach somewhere. In that moment, after all this happened to Asuka, there is another scene. Look, there are scene after scene after scene after scene. So I'm trying to explain you as much as I can all the scenes, because it's difficult. The way Evangelion is structured is really difficult to explain. So these are all the scenes, one after the other one. But then we see, oh guys, we see Gendo like this. Okay, they reach the deep down, okay, where there is Eva 13, but there is Gendo appearing, and on the other side there is Misato, that is totally against the Gendo, absolutely. And later, even Ritsuko is coming, and she's pointing a gun in front of him, and she's trying to shoot the Gendo. But as soon as she's trying, there is a disgusting scene in which, look, he is shot over here, okay, around his head, and all the head, I mean, all the brain is coming out somehow, and some parts of this brain are falling on the ground, and he's taking these parts of the brain back and he's putting them here. That was so disgusting. Look, oh. But the more Ritsuko is trying to shoot Gendo, she understands that she can't kill him. I mean, not that she doesn't want it, she can't. Because do you remember that Gendo has these glasses, these sort of sunglasses, because they are black. They are protecting the eyes, okay? So Ritsuko decides to shoot, and these shots are directing to the eyes. And you discover that Gendo doesn't have eyes. He has a cross here that is yellowish cross. That means that he's a Shito. I mean, do you remember usually when they defeated the Shito, the angels, there is a cross appearing later, right? But look, in fact, even when Asuka was about to be defeated, you see a great black cross as if she's defeated. But then we discover that no, she's not, fortunately. But yeah, Gendo has this yellowish cross here instead of his eyes. It means that he's a Shito. He gained this power. Wow, I was like, wow, Gendo, who are you? Because that was incredible. And then suddenly Shinji appears behind all of them and he's saying, Oto-san, I wanted to talk to you. Because let me tell you honestly, throughout all this story, there was the lack of communication between Gendo and Shinji. And I think all the pain Shinji felt. And okay, in this movie you understand more about Gendo too, but definitely they didn't want to talk to one another. And the problem was that because if they could talk in advance, all these things didn't happen at all. And you will understand it while I reach the end of the movie. But wow, when he said, look, because yeah, in a previous scene, I don't know, he was talking. I think he was talking to Misato or someone else. I don't remember clearly right now. But he said that I needed to talk to my father. I mean, I needed to regain that bond because that's the problem. And in fact, then he's saying, "Otosan, I want to. I mean, father, I want to talk with you." And of course, Gendo is distant because he doesn't want to get in touch with him. But wow, you see that later after this scene, uh, Shinji is wearing his uniform 01, and oh, in that moment I was like, that's nostalgic. That was really beautiful. In that moment, after that purple, do you remember purple fluid that is appearing throughout that sort of a jail and surrounding him? I think that he felt that Asuka was in danger. So he said, it's like as if he said, okay, right now I have to fight. I have to end all of this. Whoa. Later, after Gendo is going a little bit away because he is becoming part of the Evangelion 13. I mean, he is going inside the Evangelion 13 and is becoming the Evangelion 13 that in his opinion, as he said, it was the ultimate goal. I mean, the ultimate version of Evangelion, the perfect vision of Evangelion. And before meeting with Shinji, somehow he's going a little bit away because he has to start this additional impact as Fuyutsuki and Gendo himself decided to start. But before Shinji reaching Gendo, there is a moment in which you see that there is Misato, Ritsuko, Shinji, and then all the others of the staff of Misato, let's call them like this, they are joining. And the sister of the friend of Shinji, do you remember the doctor? She is pointing the gun to Shinji and she's saying, no, 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 no. You are not going to become the Evangelion 01 one more time. No, because you created lots of problems till now. I don't want you involved in this anymore. If there is the risk that there will be a fourth impact, no, 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 no. And then even the other girl that one like this, she has a hair like this somehow, and they are a little bit pinkish. She's saying, no, I disagree. In fact, she is standing with the doctor's sister opinion that she doesn't want him to be involved anymore. But Misato is the only he's the only one who says, no, I believe in Shinji and he has to do this. So she's the only one, but the other two are totally against her and her decision or what Shinji is about to do. That the pinkish, let's say, girl, she's shooting. She wants to shoot Shinji, but Misato is trying to save him, and that means, Misato is injured. She's not dead, but she's injured. And then the others are realizing, oh no, what did we do to Misato? No, 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 no. And another beautiful thing that she's saying to Shinji before separate them, she said, I believe in you, I trust you, and you're the only one to do this. Then she's hugging Shinji because Ritsuko, some scenes before, when she was talking to Misato, and I told you that Misato, didn't feel as if she was a good mother because she didn't have this motherly instinct as many other women can have. Also because maybe um, um, Kaji was dead, and because she felt so much pain in her life that she couldn't deliver her feelings to her son. But she definitely thought, okay, I'm not a good mother. I was not a good mother, or I don't feel as if I am a good one, okay? But Ritsuko showed her in that moment, in that scene, in the previous scene when they were talking, she was showing her the picture of Shinji and her son hugging. Do you remember that they took the picture when they went to that farm, right? And she's saying to Shinji, look, how was Kaji? I mean, it's like as if she's saying, how was my son? And Shinji said, I really liked him. I really like him so much. So she's hugging Shinji. And do you remember? She has a bullet here in her stomach, let's say, but she's hugging Shinji and she's saying, "Oh, that was so emotional in that moment." Look, when she's saying, no, when Shinji is saying, "Ittekimasu," and that means I'm going, and Misato is looking at him directly, and she says, "Itterashai." That means go. That moment, oh, okay, and then you see that, of course, Shinji is going back to the scene in which he is in front of the Evangelion 01. In the animation, in the anime, we saw all, and there is that episode in which he's in front of a 01, and again he's saying, no, you're not fit to do this, come on, as if he's saying you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember that scene at the beginning of the anime? And he really is changed because at that point he really wants to go inside Eva 01. So as you can see, this difference between the past and present, okay, coming all the times through the movie, that's so amazing. But then, guys, there is this the additional impact started, and there are so many scenes in between, so it's really hard for me to tell you one scene instead of other, one scene before and one scene later. It's so confusing, but at the same time, Gendo with Eva 13 and Shinji with the 01 are fighting. There is even a scene in which Fuyutsuki is talking to Mari. I mean, Mari is appearing. And before, sorry, before Shinji is starting with the Eva 01 versus Eva 13, that means his father, Gendo. Mari is saying, look, Asuka is still somewhere, and she's still spiritually here. So that means that she's not dead. Okay, so please, she says, please try to save Asuka. And Shinji is saying, yeah, I will do what I will be able to do. I mean, that means I will try to save her. But okay, and then we go back to the Fuyutsuki and Mari scene because Mari is appearing. And look, she's saying Fuyutsuki sensei. Look, I was like, huh? Sorry, excuse me? Did I hear well? One more time. We discover in this movie, guys, that Mari was a friend of Yui. I mean, she was a student of Fuyutsuki, and she was a friend with Yui, so she knew Gendo very well too. I was like, oh my lord. I think most of you guys will say, why you didn't talk to Shinji more? Why did that? I mean, she knew everything, okay? She knew everything. but she's talking with the Fuyutsuki, and she's saying, you started the additional impact. And he said, yes. But after they have this sort of discussion scene in which Mari is definitely showing that she will find a way to stop all this, and she's believing in Shinji too. While she's going away, I mean, she's going out from the scene, Fuyutsuki is exploding. And before exploding, as much as now that I think about it, it's the same kind of explosion even the fake Ayanami had at the beginning when I told you some minutes ago. The same. But before exploding, he was saying, Yui, I think that's the good thing, right? Something like that. Because in Japanese he said, Yui, kore wa ii kana. That means, that's the right thing, right, to do. And he's exploding. I was like, see, this movie can get you confused for sure. So that's why I'm going to rewatch it. But wow. And then, okay, there is this battle with between the 01 and the 13. Well, this battle is intense, guys, because while they are fighting, there are scenes in between. I mean, you see them fighting with the Yari, different Yari, as you can see in the trailer. But at the same time, you see different scenes. You see the scene in which, again, there is a talking to Shinji, and he's saying, no, you're not available. I mean, you're not ready to handle the Evangelion 01 at the beginning. Then you see another scene in which he says, Otosa. I mean, when he's complaining to Gendo. Then you see another scene when he's talking, Shinji is talking to Gendo, when he's in his office, let's say, and he's talking. Then this scene is reversing because there is a Kaoru talking to Gendo. I mean, it's a little bit mind-blowing, okay? But there are all these scenes. Plus, while they are fighting, you see that they are fighting on the street. They are fighting in the same setting of Misato's apartment. They are the two Evangelion, they are the 01 and the 13, they are fighting even in Shinji's school. All these battles are settled in all the settings of the anime and the previous movies. It means as if it's a long-lasting fight throughout all this time. The father and son were fighting because they didn't understand one another. And the more they fight, the more it's painful, the more the memories are coming back. And oh, look, this scene was stunning because it's not the usual fighting scene. It's like as if that last fighting is going on throughout all the story we've seen already. So it's like as if they are fighting, but at the same time they are in the same settings as the anime. Then they go to the settings of the second movie, the third movie. I mean, wow! The structure of that scene was simply amazing. I really loved that, for sure. And at the same time, while they are fighting, they are inside of that sort of train. You know, the train where Shinji is always sitting and he's confronting to himself or to his conscience, as much as Ayanami Rei did it in the previous movies or in the anime too. That train where there is the sunset, that sort of a color as if there is a sunset, right? And this time, Shinji has in front of him his father, Gendo. Wow, I mean, that scene, ooh, when Shinji is confronting his father in that train car, that's the key of the entire movie, guys. Now we see a father who is explaining everything about his life and what happened to him, why he decided to reach that level, and how bad his decision was. That was so great. I forgot. At the same time, there is this black Lilith falling, okay? Because while they are fighting, there is this black Lilith falling and turning into all clone bodies without the head. And they are with the at the beginning they are all Evangelion, they are all purple, as if they are all Eva 01, Eva 01. But then once this Black Lilith is falling, because again is explaining in the meantime the story, then there is this change of colors from black to white, in which all these Evangelion, purple Evangelion, they are turning into female body shape, and it's without a head, because the main head of Yui is appearing as if it's like a moon, but it's a big Yui's face, okay? Because that's the additional impact, okay? And in the meantime, yeah, as you can see, there are so multiple scenes. It's so intricate. I mean, it's like a chain, and everything is mixed in this movie too, as always, because Evangelion, the structure of Evangelion is this. But yeah, look, when Gendo is explaining everything, oh look, he's saying, more or less, to make it simple, he's saying that, Shinji, I was like you in the past. I mean, I was feeling useless, I was feeling meaningless, I was feeling a loser, as much as you are. I mean, as much as you have felt throughout all these years. And I had just two things I liked in my life: knowledge and piano. Look, knowledge, do you remember the things of the books, okay, that is reconducting to Ayana Mirei, and piano, that is reconducting to Kaoru. Look, oh my, that means when he was creating Ayana Mirei, it's of course because he wanted to have his wife back somehow, and he created Kaoru because, let's say that Kaoru was the cool part. He wanted to become the cool boy. He really, Gendo really wanted to become. And that's why he created these two, Ayana Mirei and Kaoru. Wow. And then Gendo is saying that he feels sorry for what happened. That was the Sumanakata. He's saying that means I'm sorry. I was sorry. But he's saying I was feeling useless. I was feeling a loser until I met Yui. Yui changed my life. As soon as I was in touch with Yui, I could do everything. But then, of course, she died. So I felt one more time as if I was nothing. So I had to find a way to bring her back, to feel as if I was someone in this world one more time. And that's why he said that he stole the project of Zele, and he wanted to make it as if it was his own project to bring Yui back somehow. But that was wrong. That was wrong, because it created all this mess. And Dakara, and later, in fact, he says, Sumanakata. Wow, it was so painful, this meeting in that train car between Shiji and Gendo, because while he's explaining everything about how Gendo felt throughout his life, etc., etc., Shinji is understanding him, okay? But at the same time, they are seeing from this train car, they are seeing a sort of a flashlight, huh? Because in the same time, Misato and all the others are ready for the final attack. Especially, I think, yeah, Misato only. She's ready for the final attack, and the final attack is to try to stop the additional impact before starting already. Look, how Misato is about to defeat this additional impact and how she's preventing from it to start is to use a sort of Yari, okay? And this black Yari is going directly to this. Do you remember I explained you that there is this big Yui's face appearing after the Black Lilith? There is this black, big, so big face of Yui appearing, and she's pointing to her eye, her right eye. So this final attack of Misato is to go with her aircraft directly inside this red eye of Yui's big face with this sort of Yari. Let's call it like this. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a Yari. And Misato is dying. I mean, this is a sacrifice she's making in order to finish this story. And after she is doing this, I don't know how to call it. I mean, Shinji called it Neogenesis. That is the title, Neogenesis Evangelion, right? And it's sort of a key, but it seems like a Yari, a tiny Yari, but it's a key too. I don't know how to describe it sincerely, but once you will watch the movie, you will understand. And he's saying to Gendo, because Gendo is asking, what's that? They are always in the train car, in that train car we all know. And he's saying, look, this is Neogenesis. And with that, everything could have stopped because the additional impact now is over, is finished. I mean, it's done. And wow. Then there are other scenes in between, because Shinji, now that he confronted his father somehow, and how this additional impact is finishing is that Shinji right now wants to has this Neogenesis in his hand. Is something like this. Is a sort of, I don't know how to describe it, sorry, but when you will watch the movie you will understand, okay? But after his father talked, he felt as if he was complete. I mean, now Shinji understood what his father did, and that what his father did was a mistake, and he, Gendo, recognized this while confronting to Shinji in that train car. And the only way to finish all this was to, how can I explain? Suddenly, Shinji is protected by his mother. I mean, as I told you, they are one inside of the 01, one inside of the 13, Eva 13. But the 01, it's like as if this 01 was protected by Yui's influence, as if his mother was there. So the mother that was surrounding the 01, let's say, protected Shinji till the end. And in fact, you see that Shinji somehow in that scene, beautiful scene, is confronting his mother's eyes and his mother's face. And he's saying, oh, that's strange. It reminds me of something. And then he's stopping, okay? And he realizes that is his mother. And his mother, what is she doing is that his mother is trying to get the Yari and hit, I mean, trespassing, okay, both Eva 01 and Eva 13. That means Gendo is behind her right now because she's surrounding the Eva 01. Do you understand what I mean? That scene, oh, you see, at the same time, you see Gendo's face and Yui's face dying peacefully all together. This beautiful scene, look, it reminds me Naruto. Do you remember when Naruto's mom, she was attacked by Kurama and she had to die, but then Minato saved her, I mean, protected her somehow, and then they die all together. Oh, look, it felt that way. When they were trespassed by these Neogenesis, by these Yari, even Gendo's face went back to normal, and they were surrounded by this beautiful light around them. And that was a beautiful scene in which you see Yui's face with Gendo's face. Gendo's face is behind her, and they are dying together peacefully. That scene was amazing because it was a way to end all this. So Yui protected Shinji till the end. So beautiful. So beautiful. Ritsuko is still alive because Misato alone went over there with this attack, this sacrifice. But yeah, then the next scene is you see that now Shinji is always in that train car, and he's confronting Kaoru this time. And he said, no, you don't cry anymore, right? And Shinji said, no, there's no need to cry. And then you see other scenes in which he's trying somehow to say goodbye to some of the most important characters of this story and some of the dearest people to him. He started with Kaoru, yes, actually, as I told you, in this train car. And he's saying goodbye to him. That was really beautiful. But later I'm going to explain you what I mean. Then we see Asuka. There was a beautiful scene regarding Asuka's past, because in the trailer you see that Asuka is like a baby girl. Do you remember? And yeah, we see that Asuka says to herself, look, you have no one, you have to count on you, Asuka. She's talking to herself. And she was in Europe, she was living in Europe, do you remember? And you see this scene in which behind her, she's a baby girl, and behind her there is this this gray house that is typical, like a European style, okay? And she's always alone. But suddenly, you see that in front of her there was Shinji as a baby boy, tiny baby boy, carried by Yui, and Gendo next to her. I mean, Asuka knew Shinji since that moment, since when she saw him for the first time when he was a tiny baby boy. I was like, and she saw that he was crying at that time. He was being cuddled by Yui, but he was crying all the times. And Asuka made that face you see even in the trailer later, because she really didn't like Shinji since that moment. He was always crying. He was always crying, even if other people were suffering too. As for example, Asuka, she has always suffered. She found her own reason to live by being a pilot of Evangelion, because she had no one on her side. And there was this scene because she was always having this sort of doll this doll together with her all the times because it was her own friend, the only friend she had. And that doll, she's sitting, okay, on branch of tree, and this doll is becoming so big as if she's taller than her. And that means that that doll was becoming her parent because this doll was tapping here on top of Asuka's head all the times she was feeling down, all the times she was crying, as if the doll is becoming like a parent because she had no others next to her. And then this doll is taking away her head, and inside the body of this doll was that Shinji's friend, the light hair, the light brown hair boy. Does that mean that he was taking care of Asuka even later? It could be. But now she had a person taking care of her, so she was not alone anymore. But anyway, after this scene, you see that Shinji wants to meet the Asuka of the end of the second movie. Yeah, she is having the red uniform. But in this ending movie, she's having that white uniform with rainbow tones of colors, as you see in the trailer. So now we are going back to movie number 2, and Shinji's with his mind confronting Asuka, and he's saying, "Look, I also liked you. I loved you so much, but now everything is gone." So even Shinji grew up. Yeah, but the fact that he could confess his feelings, that was really nice because he has never done it before. But now Shinji's different because I think he understood that words are meaningful, and it's better if you say things when you have the opportunity to say, not waiting for nothing or not being insecure all the times. Then he met in his mind, and then you will understand what I mean. He met in his mind Ayana Mirei that has long hair right now. She has long hair, and yeah, I didn't tell you one scene. There is before the final attack and before going down deep to reach the Evangelion 13, there is a scene in which Mari is cutting Asuka's hair a little bit. And Asuka is saying, no matter what, I'm not changing physically speaking, but my hair still grow. And that's a sign that I'm still alive because the hair are growing and it's not that time stopped, okay? And going back to what I was telling you some seconds ago, yeah, now Shinji is confronting in his mind Ayana Mirei that has long hair, and she's carrying a doll that is like a newborn baby. It's fake. You see it that it's fake. And he's saying goodbye to her too. And then look, there is after he's saying goodbye to everyone, it's like as if we are in a storage where you close one side of this storage, you open another side, and then you close it one more time. So it was like as if he was collecting these memories because he will not forget what he lived till now. But now it's time to put them as memories, and it's time to go on. So it was really nice, the symbolism they used here. This sort of a storage where you can collect all the memories, where you can collect all the things that happened to you, and this makes you what you are now. That was really amazing. I really liked that thing, for real. And later, wow, yes, he's saying sayonara, subete no Evangelion, that means goodbye, all of you, Evangelion. And in fact, this Evangelion, after the additional impact was stopped, they are falling from the sky. Let's say, you see it in the trailer, that moment, okay? When they are falling all down. And all these people, I mean, all these Evangelion, they had the the face of common people. That was really strange to see, but these Evangelion, they are having different faces, different common faces. That was, wow. That scene was incredible too. And yeah, then you see, after he sees Sayonara Subite no Evangelion, that means bye-bye to all of you, Evangelion. You see all the types of Evangelion coming on screen and being replaced by others until they are all done, they are finished. And then Shinji is in front of the ocean now. He's alone. Oh, I feel emotional. That was so beautiful because we are reaching the end of the movie. He is looking at the ocean. He is alone. And suddenly, Mari is appearing from the ocean. I mean, Mari is coming out from the ocean. And she still has the uniform she had of 09, but then she's turning into common clothes. I mean, casual clothes. I think with her school uniform, if I'm not wrong. And he's saying, Mari-san, or something like that. And she's saying, Shinji, I'm here. Let's go. And she's looking at him. Wow, in this moment they are Mari and Shinji alone, and now there's nothing red anymore. Everything is the color of the poster. That means white. And after a second, after this beautiful scene of the ocean in which he's alone and then Mari appears, there is the last scene. The last scene when you see Shinji that is grown and he's a man now. I mean, now that the things are finished and he's not more a pilot of Evangelion because he said bye-bye to this, he can grow. And he's a man now. He's at a train station, Hakone train station, and he's waiting for the train. Do you remember the gesture Mari made that I told you to pay attention? Yeah, she did it one more time. She said, "Who am I?" to Shinji, and he recognized her. And on the other platform in front of them, there is another platform, and there are other people waiting for the train, and you see Ayana Mirei talking to Kaoru. Later, I'm going to explain you what does it mean, in my opinion. But yeah, then Mari is telling him, okay, so do we go? Are we going to go? And Shinji finally discovers how much he changed and how this story changed him and how he's different now. Because do you remember throughout the movie, he was not able to decide anything. He was always confused. He was always insecure. He always had to say, no, I'm not able to choose. No, I'm not able to think. No. When Mari said, so should we go? And he said, yes, let's go. And he was so firm. I mean, he answered immediately. That means now I'm taking this decision for real. And then they go down the stairs. They go out from the station. And One Last Kiss is starting as the ending song. And the movie finishes like this. So, wow. I want to say one thing. During the outro, I mean, when One Last Kiss was played and all the people involved in this project were scrolling, I mean, you would be able to see it on the screen. I noticed how many great animation studio were helping this movie. to be done, to be finished. Some of these animation studio were Cloverworks, Ufotable, Mappa Studio, Wit Studio. So these are some of the animation studio that they were thanked by Kara Studio during see when the movie is finishing and you see all the people involved. So wow, to see that Mappa helped this project, to see that Ufotable helped this project, to see that Wit Studio helped them. Cloverworks, for those who don't know, Cloverworks is the same maker of The Promised Neverland, for example. With so many important animation studio were helping, but this story, guys, okay, now that I finished this analysis or this scene after scene, I wanted to tell you my opinion. I mean, this movie makes you understand that you should create a dialogue with the people you love, because the more you escape from others, the more you will feel pain, the more you go on. Because let's think about you, Shinji, right? He has never talked properly to his father, and his father didn't talk properly to him, because if they could have exchanged opinions, they could have understood how similar they are, how they lived or experienced the same feelings, but there was the lack of communication, so they couldn't even understand themselves. If you shut yourself from the rest of the world, then the consequence is that you are about to feel alone, not understood. So yeah, the importance of the dialogue. This is really intense as a theme here, in my opinion. But another thing is that, yeah, the power to decide one thing. At the beginning, Shinji was really coward, and he didn't want to take his responsibilities for what he did or for what he was about to do. He felt insecure. He felt that he was not in the right place. He felt that he was forced to do what he had. But at the end of the day, the power of decision, when you decide to do one thing, you have to go till the end with this decision. You can't interrupt it all the times, or you can't say you're not able. If you decided to do something, then you can't repent yourself for what you did, because you decided to do that thing. So many times Shinji said, oh no, after he did what he did, after he decided to step forward, to move forward, then he repented himself and he said, no, 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 no. I did something wrong. Oh no, now I have to repent of myself, and now I have to feel so sorry about this. Now I felt so bad. Why did I choose something like that? I'm not able to choose anything. I am a failure, etc., etc., etc. I think Shinji found his self-confidence at the end. And in fact, now you see Shinji at the end of the movie in a different way, with a different light in his eyes. And you see how much he changed. So I'm really happy for him, yes. Another thing I want to say is that even if we were supposed to hate Gendo, I mean, this is my opinion. I hated Gendo when I watched the anime, sincerely, because he was treating Shinji in the worst way, and he used his child because of his own project. With this movie, we understand how fragile Gendo was too, and how Gendo felt the same things Shinji felt, how Gendo was feeling useless, and we understand more the background, the story of Gendo too. This is really important, because nothing is done for nothing. I mean, I think there is always a reason why characters are doing what they are doing, even if it's something wrong, even if it's something we don't like, even if it's something we don't appreciate, but there is always a reason behind some behavior people use. And I think wow, I think after Gendo said Sumanakata, Shinji felt released to the world one more time. It was such a great feeling to to be understood and to understand how his father felt, because at the end of the day they were the same, in the same condition, in the same situation, feeling the same things. But then, yeah, wow, you understand that Kaoru was just a Gendo. I mean, Kaoru was the way to create the cool Gendo, the cool person he really wanted it to be, who played the piano, who was kakoi, who always had something to say in the proper way. I mean, something Gendo was not. And he recreated this figure of this person he really wanted it to be. So Kaoru and Rei staying on the other platform, looking at, not talking to one another. It's just the fantastic world, let's say, of Gendo, seeing himself next to Yui, that is Ayana Mirei, in this fantasy world. And that's why Shinji was so attached to Kaoru somehow, because Kaoru was just a part of Gendo, as much as Ayana Mirei was a part of Yui, or Yui was part of Ayana Mirei, and Gendo was part of Kaoru too. So the fact that Shinji is always attached to these two people, to these two clones, I mean, to Kaoru and to Rei, makes you understand that actually he was in touch with his parents all the time, but he didn't realize that that was the perfect conception of a parent, because he had his parents next to him throughout all this adventure, throughout all this experience, and he didn't even realize that till the end. So wow, that was really beautiful to see them on the other side of the platform. That was a nice choice, because see, the platform, they don't meet. Okay, they are parallels and they never meet, but you can see them. I mean, you can see the other platform in front of you or behind you. It's like as if they are two or three different roads that they are parallel and they don't meet. They can't meet anymore, but you can still see them somehow. So Shinji can be confident because he didn't lose anybody at the end of the day. If he really wants to see, he can see. And wow, that scene at the end was really beautiful, really beautiful. But then he decided to go away with Mari, because it's that moment in which he's sitting in that train station waiting for the train. Usually he was waiting in Hakone train station, the train, when he was feeling upset, when he was feeling discouraged, when he really wanted to abandon everything, when he wanted to give up. But now he's going away with Mari, and it's an important decision, because he's going away from all this finally, and now his real life has to start. Plus, I want to say that Mari goes away with him because Mari is the real good memory of his mom, because she was a friend of Yui, and she can tell Shinji everything she remembers about his mother. So she's an effective way to remember his mother in the best way. So I really liked when I saw that now Shinji is free. He is free to decide. He doesn't have lots of responsibilities anymore. He doesn't have to pretend to be someone who is not. And he doesn't have to accomplish anybody's desire. He is Shinji. And now that he's free from all these bad thoughts he had, and now that there was an explanation for everything that happened, now it's time to go out and live. In fact, when they go down the stairs and they go out from that Hakone train station, it's like, now I don't have to stay in this place where I felt bad anymore. Now the world is waiting for me. Let's go out. wow, this he has to go out from a place that you don't feel comfortable. But he's going out without forgetting what happened. Because do you remember I told you there is that scene as if we are in a sort of a storage of a factory or something like that, where he collected everything, because everything that happened is making Shinji as he is now. Um, I really like that it's a story. It's intricate. I mean, it's not easy to handle. It's not easy to understand many things. But if you really put yourself into, you can understand. You can find still parts of yourself in Evangelion and in this story. And you can relate it to many characters here too. Mm, I really liked even Asuka. Uh, you understand in this movie how lonely Asuka is. In fact, she's always in front of a video game. She's always playing a video game over here. She's not trying to be involved in other people's feelings or in other things, because the more she's getting in touch with other people, the more she's scared of the feelings she can feel, the more she's scared for the fact that she can be attached to these people, and one day probably these people will abandon her, will leave her alone. So she doesn't, it's her own way to detach herself from everything. But at the end of the day, she's really kind, because the fact that she was checking all the times where Shinji was, if Shinji was okay, if Shinji was still alive, and she was checking behind the corner. And it's the typical attitude a mother can have, or a lover, a person who really loves another person has. Mm, I don't know if it happened to you, but when you are crying by yourself in your room, or when you wanted to stay alone, there is always your mother trying to check from when she's opening the door a little bit and she's checking if you're right or wrong. That's what I felt when Asuka was trying to check how Shinji felt. And yeah, I totally understand her past and why she's having this rude attitude towards others, because that's the only way to protect herself, and that's the only way to take care of herself, because nobody else did before. So I can really understand Asuka too. I loved how this motherly instinct that this fake Ayanami had, because as I told you while I was analyzing scene after scene, even in real life, even if a person doesn't feel a mother instinct, okay, or because she seems that she's feelingless, that's not the case. And the fake Ayanami showed how empathetic she was with Shinji, more than other people, sincerely, and how how beautiful it was, the moments in which she was asking, what does arigato, what does a thank you mean, what does good night mean, what does job mean, what does good morning mean, all these simple sentences we say every day in our routine. But maybe most of the times we say those sentences just because it's part of our routine life, not because we understand the meaning, especially of thank you. Um, I really liked even Ayanami, fake Ayanami's character, because even if she didn't know anything and she had a time limit, she really wanted to understand more and to get in touch with others more, even if she was not able to comprehend what she was in touch with. So, yeah, I really liked it. Yeah. What else to say? Look, I think, yeah, this movie is great, and the animation was stunning. My vote is 10 plus. And yeah, I think an important message this movie has is that you shouldn't give up. And even if you feel lonely, even if you feel useless, even if other people tell you that you don't mind, that you don't mean anything, that you are nothing, there will always a way to prove them wrong. And wow, yeah, Shinji was used a lot in his life. Yeah, but when he said "Sayonara, subete no Evangelion," over there you find Shinji, because from now on Shinji is a different person, and you see the change. Oh, look, he changed a lot, and when he made that decision, yes, that was really beautiful to see. Yes, yes, yes. But then when one last kiss started at the end, I felt emotional. Oh yeah. See, the movie started with Mari singing na 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 na, and the movie is ending with Mari taking Shinji away. So wow. Look, even Mari knew the entire story. I mean, she was a Yui's friend, and of course, she didn't grow because she was a pilot of Evangelion too, and that's why after all these years she didn't change so much. But Mari is the character that shows you that even if you lost your friend, you shouldn't be tricked by power or by gaining power or by turning into something bad. I mean, Mari shows you that even if there is a chance you miss or you lose someone, the only thing you should do is to remember this person as best as you can and to collect all the great memories you have with that person. Not like Gendo did. I mean, Gendo was desperate, okay, but as much as Shinji was desperate when Ayana Mirei was dying, I mean, she was over, let's say. But Mari can teach many things here, yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the movie, no matter if her friend was dying, she also has her son in front of her. That means Shinji. And that means Yui is not dead entirely, because in Shinji you can find a part of Yui. So, oof, there is this exchange, okay? Shinji can make Mari feel as if Yui is alive, as much as Mari can let Shinji think that his mother is still alive. So there is no way to revive her. This reminds me a little bit of Fullmetal Alchemist, because even in that case, Edward wants to revive his mother, but it's better not to do anything like that, because it's just wrong. Once that dear person is dead and is gone, it's not gone. He or she is not gone until you will remember this person. And Mari is the clear example. So yeah, even this exchange of feelings, that's so beautiful. And that's why Shinji and Mari are the last two characters of this movie till the end, because you understand that there is this exchange of feelings. Okay, guys, I think for this live streaming, that is it. Hope you understood everything I said. Hope you enjoyed. But if you have other questions, feel free to write me in the comments below your questions and thoughts. Of course, I hope you will watch this movie as soon as you can, because it deserves. And I think that was a great ending for Evangelion, the best ending the Evangelion could have. So I really hope you will have the chance to watch it as soon as you can. I hope I clarified most of the things. But anyway, I am about to rewatch the movie one more time, because, as I told you, when Evangelion, when you get in touch with Evangelion, you need the time. So I think I will wait a little bit. I mean, I will wait some weeks, and then I will go and watch it one more time. In the meantime, I'm about to think, everything what I said or what I told you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mofax. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you for understanding my thoughts. If you have other questions or if you wanted to know something, of course, I suggest you, as I told you at the beginning of this live streaming, please wait to watch this movie by yourself. Don't watch this video or this live streaming if you don't want to know the end of the story. In fact, everywhere it's written spoilers alert. So I warned you before I started already. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next review. See you in the next video. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.